Welcome to the office of Captain Harold DeMarrero for River Stories Volume 26. We left Captain. He was developing a crew for the Vonnie Dee. He started off by getting John D to be a relief pilot, relief captain or whatever, and then he just got an engineer. So go ahead and take it away, Cap.
Well, I had a good relief captain, John D. Stroop, and a pretty good pilot that I was kind of in training, and good chief engineer, good cook. Had a couple of deckhands were easy to get back then, and I had a couple. They were mostly Cajun deckhands, and they did a good job. I treated them good. I treated them a lot better than they got treatment when they was working on a Cajun boat. So I had a good crew. Started running back and forth, and I'd raised my salary up a little bit since I wasn't going to school anymore to $1,000 a month, and then I figured that if I was going to operate this boat, that I should probably get down to one of the points of operation. If I wanted to see my family, I would go to like Houston, because that was like an end of the line. I would always come in and out of Houston. So I moved to Houston. Started off, got me an apartment there, then bought a house down in Nassau Bay, Texas. One of the most beautiful subdivisions I guess I ever saw. It was, at the time, it was it. It was right across the street from the Houston NASA Space Center, and there was hotels and all
the Johnson Center.
Yeah, Johnson Space Center. I saw Johnson many times driving in and out of the place. It was like a block and a half from my house to the front gate. So, and it was a beautiful subdivision that had no two homes could be alike in the entire subdivision. Each house, no garage could face the street. All the wiring was underground. The television was beamed in, the cable underground from a central antenna for the entire subdivision. 2 yacht clubs, and free privileges at these yacht clubs, which included like Olympic swimming pools and boat docks and all this. And I had a boat, speedboat. I went the whole 9 yards. I bought a house down there that today I know it'd be worth at least $300,000 for like $23,500. That's what I paid for that house. That's back when I bought the Corvette, that was $2,350 in 1965. So anyway, I moved down to Texas, got my house, then I got me an office on the Gulf Freeway. Nobody ever came in it, but I had me an office, and I used to I had a place for a secretary with a IBM typewriter and all the phone out there, and my private office in the back. And of course my books weren't kept there or anything was done there, but it was a place I wanted my own office, and I'd go up there and sit, and sometimes I would interview secretaries.
Just to have some fun, huh?
Just to have some fun. I'd get on the phone, call some employment, and say, I need a secretary. I had a desk out there, and there was nobody there. They would come in and I would talk to them, It's kind of neat. But I guess that's one of the reasons my first wife left me. There's shenanigans like that. But I was living in Texas, and then the guy that my contract, my company was called Gulfstream Towing Company, and my contract was with I worked for Bill Brooks, or Brooks Liquid Transport Company. Now, Brooks had the contract with Sinclair, and then he just hired he owned the boat, and he let me run it. My company was running his boat. That's what it amounted to, the Vonnie Dee. And so, after I got all settled in and everything out there, he called me in the office. Well, actually, he was in Chicago at the time. And he called me to come to Chicago. And I went to Chicago and met him at a 5-star restaurant. And I think it was in the Drake Hotel. I'm not sure whether it was or not, but it was a 5-star restaurant.
Nice place, huh?
Yeah, it was expensive.
Big ticket meals.
Big ticket meals.
It was nice of him to pick up the tab, huh?
Well, actually, I had this lobster lagostine. I was so impressed with all his food. And he was telling me, try this, try that, and everything. And then when it was all over with, he said, you take care of this. It was $175, which back then, man, would be like $800 or $900 today.
Lobster wasn't that good, was it?
No, it wasn't that good. But what was I going to do? I was working for the guy. He had me just like this, So anyway, he says, I'll tell you what, let's do it. How would you like to own that boat? And I says, what do you mean? And he says, I'll sell the boat to you. I said, well, I don't have enough money to buy that boat. And he says, I'll get it financed for you. I got a bank that will take care of the thing and do this for us. And I says, well, I'm 27, 28 years old. I'm saying, wow, man, I'm going to own my own boat. I can see nothing but dollar signs everywhere, so I said, sure. So he gets all the papers done up. I'll go back to the boat for a while, and then come back, fly back up to Chicago again, and sign the papers. It was a bank up there, and they loaned me the $250,000, which I wrote a check for immediately to Bill Brooks to buy the boat from him for $250,000, and it sounded wonderful. And the only problem was that the boat was probably only worth $125,000. So the only real winner in this thing was Bill Brooks. He got all this money, all this cash, But I was kind of starting over. It was everything starting over now, there's a boat, and it's a whole new deal,
You was ready to make some money.
I was ready to make some money. Thought I was going to make a lot.
So how'd that turn out?
Well, I kept on running the boat. I made all this money, bought all this stuff, while I was living in Texas, and living high off the hog, But then I got to, he wasn't giving me enough money to operate this boat. On top of that, I had to pay his maid in his house like $300 or $400 a month. She was on my salary off my company. The money he gave to me, I had to pay that back to him.
Once he stiffed you on that $175 dinner, he figured you was easy pickings.
Oh, well, I was easy pickings. I was a kid, didn't know what was going on.
Okay, Cap, we'll come back and figure out how you figured all this out and how you straightened it out. Thanks for everybody watching Captain Harold DeMarrero's River Stories, and please come back and watch some more.